Hello, Shar Carruthers here from BlissBody&Soul, and this video is part of our series on digestion. Recently, I ran a poll in our Ayurveda Plus You group about digestion, just asking the members of the community what their experience of their digestion was. And in the first video in this series, I talked a little bit about the fact that within Ayurveda, we have 4 different types of digestion. The first video, we touched on healthy digestion, what that actually looks like. It's called Sama Agni in Ayurveda. And so in this video, we're actually going to be talking about one of the next types of digestion, and of Agni or digestion, and the one that was probably the most popular response in that poll that I mentioned in our Ayurveda Plus You Facebook group. So the type of Agni, or the type of digestion that we're talking about today, is called Manda Agni. Manda Agni is an experience of slow digestion. So what does Manda Agni actually look like? Well, Manda Agni looks like heaviness in the body, especially after eating. It might look like dullness in the mind, lack of appetite, weight gain, or even if you're not really eating that much, still sort of holding on to weight. And it can also feel a lot like congestion in the body or mind. So this overall lack of clarity and lightness. And Manda Agni is usually associated with an increase of kapha. And so Manda Agni tends to be most common amongst kapha individuals. But it's important to note that Manda Agni is not considered a balanced state. Balance or healthy Sama Agni is the Agni or the type of a digestion that we're aspiring to. And that was what I talked about in the first video. So if you didn't see that, you can check that out. But now I want to talk to you a little bit about how to manage this Manda Agni, what you can actually do to transform your Manda Agni back to a state of Sama Agni. Okay, so in order to do that, I've got just a few tips or suggestions for how to kindle your digestive fire, because usually a Manda Agni is a state where your digestive fire is actually kind of low. And so one of the best tips that I can actually give you in order to combat Manda Agni is to avoid overeating. And so the next thing I would actually recommend is to avoid eating too many heavy foods. So in Ayurveda, heavy foods tend to be characterized by things that are sweet or that are oily, dairy foods, cheeses, meats, all of those sorts of things tend to be quite heavy. And so you want to avoid eating too much of that kind of food. The next thing I would recommend is to take a walk after your meal. Ayurveda recommends that after a meal, we maybe take a walk for about 20 minutes just to aid that process of digestion. And then the last one, which is again another one of my favorites, is to introduce digestive aids into your diet or into your practice of eating. One of my favorites is to take a little bit of ginger, fresh ginger. I tend to grate that up, mix that with a few drops of lime juice and about a half of a pinch of pink salt or Himalayan pink salt or rock salt. Mix that together and just have a teeny bit of that, about maybe a couple of pea sizes of that before the meal to kindle the Agni and get it ready to receive the food. So these are kind of my favorite tips for managing your Manda Agni, your slow Agni. And if none of this sounds familiar, any of those symptoms of Manda Agni, if none of those things sounded familiar to you, then just know that this is part of a series where I talk about the 4 different types of Agni. And so if those things didn't sound familiar to you, then you probably are going to want to tune in and listen to one of the other videos that will be coming in this series, because I'll be covering all 4 types. And if you're interested in being a part of my Ayurveda Plus You community, where I'm putting out polls and asking people about the sorts of things that they want to know about Ayurveda, and then creating series like this, I welcome you to join. It's a Facebook community. I'll put the link somewhere so that you can reach that, and I hope to see you in there. Until the next video, namaste.